불멸의 전사 2.
Career since Brood War, he's just got so much history. He's got so much behind him. He's one of those classic ex-Brood War Terrans that switched over. And, you know, he and Flash were kind of vying for the Terran King on KT for such a long time. And now he, of course, has taken it almost by default because Flash left the team. He retired. But I feel like he more than just fills the hole. I think he's a much stronger Terran player for KT going into this season.
Every year I watch TY play, it just feels like he keeps improving and improving. I mean, in Brood War, he was always improving, and it seems that now he's finally found his stride in Legacy of the Void, where we can finally see him maybe take a championship with that GSL. But we've got to talk about Dark as well, because I believe last week in Pro League, I forgot who was playing. He was playing as Zerg Vegetarian, and he got honestly pretty
He got wrecked.
He got wrecked, yeah.
I'm trying to remember who that was. I was actually looking and doing a little bit of research on that. But yeah, he lost a recent CBT versus an opponent he was definitely favored over. He did take these Star League finals. He won that pretty convincingly, but he's been focusing on a different matchup than this one, whereas TY has taken a bit of a closer look at the matchup himself with his GSL group, looking at TVZ specifically. So it's really hard to say who's going to come out on top with this one, but I'd say most people would agree Dark is the favorite. He also has the better record in the head-to-head at 5-3.
Yeah, I just remembered as well in the GSL group, he did go out to Dream, so... but we see here with prediction 6-1 in favor of TY. Valdez is actually the only person going for Dark.
Yeah, I think, you know, Valdez is a big Dark fan. He has been ever since Dark joined SKT. I think he's got his own belief that Dark can take this, but we'll have to wait and find out, guys. Let's jump into game number 2, TY versus Dark. Down here in the red for KT Rolster. They're Terran. It is TY. And up to the top right, the Star League champion for SKT. It's Dark. SKT up 1-0. The momentum is in their favor going into Orbital Shipyard.
Generally, we see usually Terrans or Protosses on Orbital Shipyard, so it's actually quite a surprise to see a Zerg coming out on this map. Obviously, it's a very not standard, but it's very easy map to play on, I guess. You've got that back expansion that's very easy to take. You've got that front expansion that's quite defensible, and then after the 4th base, it's very hard to take another base. So
yeah, it gets a little bit awkward. You got to take the little nubs on the top of the bottom of the map, or they've got the double expands over there. That's basically where we see forests most of the time. And sometimes we even see Zergs double expand to that on this map when in the rare case that we actually see a Zerg play on this map. But you're very exposed to harass over there because it's just so far away from where your army is going to be. And also because of the way that the map works, because in the middle of the map you can't just simply traverse across the ground army, you kind of have to go around it. Sometimes we see if a player like a Zerg player moves out with a ground army on the wrong side, the opposite side of their base, and the Terran goes the other way, then you lose your base and you're kind of stuck out in the middle of the map. So it gets a bit awkward when we go late game.
Yeah, and the question is, in this matchup on this map, would you go Mutiling Bane or you go Roach Ravager? We've seen Dark mix it up quite a bit with both styles, and looking at the map, I think Mutiling Bane is the preferred option, but it's
unless you're Dark and you go Corruptor Lingbane.
Yes.
And you've got your own way of looking at the
world. It's a very Dark's flair, having those Corruptors in his army composition, but nothing too crazy from both players. Obviously, Dark taking advantage that the 3rd base is closer, very close, expanding there, and we see the quick Reaper here from TY.
Yeah, he's just going to go pop across and scout. And look at this, Roachborn coming up already. Does kind of tell a little bit about what Dark's got planned. At first, when I saw this map in the lineup, when I saw Dark on it, I was a bit surprised, and I thought to myself, I'm thinking Nidus all in or something like that. I'm not feeling like he wants to play a straight-up game versus TY here. And, you know, I voted for TY, and I said that Dark was the favorite. I feel like when you look at recent results, most people do think Dark's the favorite, but I look at, I've been watching these guys play and casting almost every single game they've played in over the past few weeks, and I think TY is more on point. And, you know, perhaps if TY had actually made it to the Star League finals, he might have beaten Dark himself. But that aside, you know, we're already seeing this is not like a very normal opening from Dark. You can use these roaches to defend Reapers, but it's only one Reaper, so why would you do that? You know, it just doesn't make sense. And TY's already scouted this, so he's going to be like, okay, let's just play a little bit extra safe here because this rush distance on this map is quite far. You're going roaches. Are you going to Nidus me? I'm going to be ready for that too. He does have 2 Overlords obviously in position if that's what his plan is.
Oh, he's even going to bunker as well, so he's being super duper safe with this defense here. As we see here, Tech Lab on that factory, he's actually getting siege tank here, so he definitely wants to be playing this really safely. And there's getting that starport as well, so probably wants to get that medevac out to try and do some harass with the tank if he doesn't really see anything coming in, as we see the first Ravager being morphed.
Just one though, but look at that, 2 Overlords as he's supply blocked right now. Let's see what happens after that. That's really going to tell the story. Okay, first one's done. If we just see a big max of roaches, we know it's coming. I think it's too obvious at this point though, and he's going to start 7 drones instead.
He's also getting speed behind this for his Zergling, so doesn't really want to commit fully to the roach play, I guess. And we see here the Overlord being sacrificed here. Wants to see what TY is doing, and I'm pretty sure it's scouted at factory and starport, but he knows that TY is on his feet right now, so I guess Dark's feeling quite comfortable that there isn't any sort of crazy timing going on right now.
Yeah, I think that he's kind of looked at this and said, well, if I was going to attack you with what I may have originally had planned, then it's just simply not going to work. You scouted me early, I couldn't deny your Reaper. He's already seen the siege tanks that have been planted, not only for safety, but they will be able to pressure a little bit. And he's going to go, well, I'll add a few roaches. I'll help defend this Marine push that's coming across first. And he already confirmed it's not going to be Banshees or anything of the sort. He knows siege tanks are coming out. He checked everything.
Ooh, it actually got up, but he didn't really see too much. And I'm loving this medevac play here from TY. He's not actually darting straight forward to Dark's base. He's actually clearing up these Overlords around the map that Dark has placed. And it's every little bit helps here for TY here, taking out those Overlords.
Really does. All right, Lair coming up, Baneling Nest coming up. Looks like Dark really is going to be playing a more standard game here. The only thing not standard about it is he didn't get Overlord speed, and he had to sack an Overlord to scout. Queen will get sniped here by TY. Looks like 3 Marines will go down as a result. And now we have 2 tanks. And we've seen this style a lot in recent TVZs. I feel like TY can lead the charge on this. Gumiho's done this a bit recently. You just use the tank evac to push the creep back with a little bit of Marine support, and you just kind of try to deny creep, and any lings that come across, you trade efficiently versus them. And if it becomes that he loses all of his Marines, he can still have 2 tanks sieged up with these 2 medevacs. So it's just all about creep denial, maybe a few Queen snipes, and just being safe. You don't want to overextend here.
Yeah, the goal here from TY is just to be really obnoxious to Dark, to deny that creep, as you said. And the most important thing, though, with this harassment is that you do not lose your medevac or tanks, because if you lose your tanks and the medevacs, then you're really far behind.
Yeah, you just, I mean, a tumor or 2 is never going to be worth the tech units here. It may be worth a few Marines and a few hit points on those tech units, but you're always going to force a response. Dark is not really taking the bait, so to speak. He's continuing to drone, he's getting double upgrades. So now I'm comfortable versus this. We are going to see the switcheroo into the tank evacs. He's going to send the Marines home instead of sacking them. And is going to head actually towards that top creep. That drone hasn't started morphing to a hatchery yet.
There we go. But the first Liberator is out for TY, so... And as the Spy comes down as well, as long as the Mutalisks aren't out and the Queens aren't in range, then these tanks should be doing damage here. There's a bit of slash damage on the Zerglings. Oh, nice hit there.
Yeah, really nice hit. Just barely out of range of the Spire. I wonder if he went to that corner, if he actually would be in range of it. Looks like he's just going to.
Oh, he might try and snipe this, but the Queens are there, so unfortunately for Dark, unfortunately for TY rather, he won't be able to snipe that Spire that's being built there.
Ooh, look at how far he's baiting these units off creep, though, and there's a huge Bioforce coming across the map with this. Stim and 1-1 are going to be lining up with this attack. Baneling's speed is 2, though, and he's absolutely going to need that. But with some of the reduced creep spread here, it's going to be tough to fight.
Oh, it looks like Dark actually wants to take the fight here, trying to target those siege tanks. Oh, nice corrosive files there on the Marines, actually taking out a lot of those Marines there of TY, but there's a Liberator here at the main base, and we see another Liberator here at the expansion. Let's see how Dark deals with this.
Yeah, well, you know, he did definitely do a big fail on the engage, right? Oh, that Queen goes down, but, you know, with the Liberators back here, he might be able to make it worth it. He's actually panicking a little bit. He's even sending Zerglings back into his main. That's not going to be helpful. This one will finally be killed. This last one over here is still denying mining time. And Dark needs to decide whether he wants to commit his units to his main or to his natural bases. And he only has one queen left, as far as I can tell, actually, so that's kind of a problem here. Okay, there's a second one.
Yeah, it feels like Dark got really flustered with those 2 Liberators. You saw there, his bank just went up to the thousands, and without those queens to inject, that's actually quite bad for him to help get rid of that bank that he amassed. As we see here, TY now adding those barracks, knowing that he's probably going to go for a 3-base timing. I haven't seen a command center yet. He wants to hit this 4th base sometime soon.
Yeah, and I mean, he has added the armory. He's going to get 2-2 right away. So is Dark, in fact, a little bit faster than him, just slightly. He's also adding his stylistic corruptors into the mix. Only about 5 of them coming out right now. They're going to help clear up any liberators that would come across, but they're going to be basically used for big fights on the map. You know, army fights where the corruptors just tank a little bit more than he is, and he just kills medevacs with them. So if he fights, if TY ever fights on creep, then he can't just lift up and run away because the corruptors will be there to punish that.
Looks like TY is going for round 2 here in the TY versus Dark War, as another medevac here going to drop onto this expansion. Maybe he'll take out the queen, take out some drones, and while he's doing this, looks like it's going to try and establish position here at the 4th base. He's just pulling units, preparing for an attack at the 4th.
Yeah, take a close look
turrets
at the
as well.
Oh my god, he's really going to commit to turrets here. TY loves doing this. You see him do it in TVP, he's now doing it in TVZ. But this, like you said, was literally a pull. Almost like that was the tide that sucked a lot of Dark's units back into his main base. He's now trying to respond here with these Baneleys coming for a flank, but there's so much set up back here. I'm not sure that even a flank is going to be a good choice for TY, or excuse me, for Dark versus TY's army. Look at this, so many tanks here. Gonna catch some reinforcements and commit.
Oh, he's trying to attack here, not on the creep, but the nice shots there from the tanks, taking out many of these Banelings. Nice marine control as well, and Dark has to push back here. Even
turrets helping out versus the Corruptors. I think this is somewhat of a response to how Dark plays.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you're going to commit to Corruptors? Yeah, my Marines can't kill them very quickly, but I've even got turrets on the ground. Like, what are you going to do versus that? Maybe overextending a little bit here, but going to step back, dodge the Corrosive Vials, and the army supply is dead even between these two, but the turret push continues. The reinforcements continue to rally across the map here.
Not only do the turrets provide the anti-air for those Corruptors, but they also provide a funnel. They help stop those Zerg army coming in. It's pretty much acts as a funnel for him. So TY taking advantage of that as he's still continuing to push these turrets up, and it eventually gets to the point where the turret will just detect those creep tumors.
Exactly, I was about to say, I mean, that's one other extra added benefit. Dark continuing to look for run-bys here to catch reinforcements, and actually we'll try to hit this this 4th base over here. And meanwhile, while most of the bio is away,
nice pick up there from TY, getting that tank out of danger, as he looks like he's going to try and establish his 4th base rather, and use that high ground advantage to keep that alive while it's building.
And Dark, you know, he does hold that 4th base, but look at this. TY even going to force some Baneling cancels. He wants to take this fight, but he's going to take it off creep again. Oh, decent siege tank shots.
So many Banelings though. They're just rolling through, but the high ground advantage here from TY is actually doing a lot of benefit here for him, as most of these Banelings are gone, but it looks like TY is actually being pushed back here by these Corruptors.
That one medevac so low on health, and it's got a full set of Marines in it. These Corruptors are really actually paying off for Dark, as they always do when he plays the ZVT style. He's going to have to cancel this command center. There's the cancel. These SCVs are with the army. I'm not sure what they're going to accomplish either. He needs to get those back to the 3rd base. And Dark taking a big foothold in this game, denying that 4th. He has now his 4th secured. And look, his creep spread's going down 3 avenues, and TY is struggling to stop it.
Yeah, it's unfortunate there from TY. The pathing kind of screwed up there, and with this pathing screwed up on those Marines, allowed the Corrosive Bile to be shot onto those Marines and did quite a bit of damage. It looks like at the moment for Dark, he hasn't even thought of he's getting Hive Tech now, so he's very solid with this Corruptorling Baneling play. Because I was like, okay, that kind of autopiloted there, but he's actually going to take that base there, the 5th base at the top left, and Dark's looking very comfortable so far.
Yeah. Now TY is going to move his main base over to the 4th base location. He doesn't have any more saturation there. He doesn't really need the gas. He's got 1,800. But knows his economy problem means that he's making nothing but Marines and tanks. He's not making any Liberators, and the Corruptors are really starting to become a problem. You know, he's losing a lot of medevacs for these Marines, and okay, this drop over here doing some damage, but I feel like the Corruptors, even though there's a small number of them, have really made it so that it's tough for TY to actually disengage.
Nice catch there from TY. showing that Dark got a bit sloppy there, trying to defend from this drop. Snipes a few Zerglings, but it might not really amount to much. As we see, what was it, the Army Supply? Yeah, it's sort of close, but I feel like Dark has the grip on this game right now.
A nice scan from TY. He sees there's no hive. And for that moment, he's like, okay, I can play this slower. No Broodlords coming my way anytime soon. No Ultralists. I'm just going to turret push again. I'm going to try to cut this Zerg army in half. And I'm going to try to hit this 5th base as soon as I am ready. He's going pure Marine tank like it's Wings of Liberty 2010 or something like that. And this lack of a wall here is really starting to take its toll on reinforcements.
Oh, I think TY has to move back here. There's no way he's going to be able to defend all these Zerglings. But it looks like actually Dark going for a counterattack here.
There's so many Marines on the ground and a good split here. And it's just so far off creep, and the turrets help against the Corruptors. But it's costing his reinforcements again because he had to actually turn back to fight. These Lings are getting 11, 12 SCVs and also cutting off all of the reinforcements.
A nice move there from Dark, cutting all the reinforcements, getting some SCVs, but he's actually using this advantage. And, oh, TY's moved back here with these Marines. The Siege Tanks need to target the Banelings.
The Siege Tanks definitely need to target the Banelings. Looks like he will target as best as he can. Will save a lot of those Siege Tanks. Still a lot of Lings on the ground. There's not enough Marines here, and Dark is going to win this fight. And finally the reinforcements come back. And Dark cannot stick around here. He needs to actually keep his army alive. I like to send a small group of Lings to bring that bio away. Then he can actually rebuild. He's got a big bank, and he has that 5th base up.
Honestly, I think these run-bys here from Dark is winning him the game. If he snipes... I thought I was going to say if he sniped the engineering bays or the armory or the barracks, then TY would be in a whole world of hurt because he's relying on these factories and barracks so much.
Look at the supplies. It's really about the army here for TY right now. These run-bys did a lot for Dark, but now his army is somewhat weakened. He's making 8 more Banes right now, so he's going to have enough to hold, it looks like, the next following up attack. But if TY had maybe attacked a little bit quicker there, could have tried to capitalize on this. All the Corruptors stay alive. Again, Dark commits to these. They push the medevacs back. They never die. They're armored. They're not prioritized in fights because the Marines are going to prioritize the ground army. And TY is setting up for that attack. He has a lead in the army supply. Looks like he might wait for 2 more tanks. He still hasn't walled his base. And look at this. Dark is coming in again.
These run-bys are just, well, it's killing it for Dark right here. It's taking advantage of the fact that these reinforcements cannot catch up with the main army of TY. And TY must be feeling heat right now because he needs to take out that 5th. It looks like Dark is coming in with these Banelings.
Big splits, though, from TY already. And he's going to have to fight off creep. It looks like this may be too much. This time the Zerg army will eliminate the last of the siege tanks here. And those are the expensive units that TY cannot replace. And here come the Corruptors to clean up the medevacs. There's nothing left really on the ground for TY. All of his reinforcements had to stop again. And look, he scans now the 6th base over at the 3 o'clock expansion that he can't do anything about right now. He doesn't have a single Marine to spare to send over there. And then that's it. GG! Dark takes it. And this may be a fast night after all.
Wow. I mean, oh, that was really impressive there from Dark, showing his trademark Corruptor style there. And even though he was a bit flustered at the start with those drops, he was a bit flustered, his Roach Warren wasn't even being used at all. He played that out quite well.
Yeah. Oh man, KT fans must be feeling a little bit nervous because these were the 2 matches, I feel like, that most people were favoring KT on big time. You know, Classic wins the first match in an upset. The second match, I think...
Not really an upset.
Not an upset, but like it's one of those matches where it's like, okay, this one could definitely go either way, just like the ZBZ at the end, right? So you lose these first 2, you have no momentum, and that means you have to win 2 in a row. And your 4th match, you have to rely on the ZBZ that you're not that confident in anyways, but it's like one of those matchups, again, that could go either way. But man, Dark really showed up the commentators there. He was like, man, I'm good at all matchups, don't doubt me. It's not a good map for Zerg. What? Of course it is. It's a good map for Dark, though. That's what he's telling us.
I think the thing is that we wrote off Dark because he got wrecked in his GSL group against Dream. But it looks like we're going to go to a 5-minute break, I believe.
Yeah, it's going to be 3 to 5 minutes, guys. Before we come back, we're going to take that break. But when we do, it will be Stats versus Innovation for game number 3.